Welcome, Striker.
Striker, I don't even know her.
Welcome to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Review from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And hey, tonight we got a special guest with us, the always amazing Kurt Smith, who
Hello.
is here to talk about yet another... You know what? I'm not going to say dreadful sequel.
No, because it's actually pretty good. It's better than Jaws: The Revenge and Caddyshack 2.
So it's an awful sequel, not a god-awful sequel.
No, it's serviceable, I think,
All right.
maybe.
Kurt, stick with my logic here for a second, because this is how I tried to posit it to Mike, but I was texting with Mike, so it doesn't... I don't think it has the same impact.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we think of the movie Airplane, which, by the way, is the funniest movie ever made, as a potato chip, a lovely, pristine, salty, crunchy potato chip made with real potato, okay? I love them. Mm-hmm. They're great. Airplane 2, the sequel, is kind of like the Pringles of potato chips. It looks like a potato chip. It smells like a potato chip. It even tastes like a potato chip. But it's made out of potato meal. So it's like these little granular parts that made the potato chips so amazing are kind of in there, but they're mashed down, flattened, and then formed into something that is a natural shape.
So it's still made of potato. So it's still made of some of what the original potato is made, but it's done in a different form.
Right, but it's it's more like it's constructed. Whereas I feel like Airplane's comedy is way more organic.
Which is that's the calling card, the Zucker from Kentucky Fried Movie to Airplane to Police Squad, Naked Gun. That's their Top Secret. That's their calling card. It's just organic comedy because they're really funny comedic writers. This movie had none of those. They were not involved in it. ZAZ was not involved in it.
Nope, they were.
And you could tell that they were not involved in it because it pales in comparison to what they were doing at the time, which 1982 they were doing Police Squad.
Yes,
they're doing the 6 episodes of Police Squad, and that is 1,000 times funnier than this. If you're gonna choose between this and Police Squad, watch Police Squad. They're on YouTube. They're funny.
They're hilarious.
They took the first Airplane and they Finkelmaned it.
Yeah, they just it's like, hey, you like these jokes? We're gonna put them in a Cuisinart. We're gonna hit frappe, and we're gonna
use some of these jokes, but they're not gonna. They're gonna be said by somebody who's just simply repeating lines from a movie they heard once.
Because that's the funny thing about Airplane is it's perfectly cast. You got straight actors doing comedic. You got Peter Graves doing a comedic role. You got Leslie Nielsen doing a comedic role. You had, it's Robert Stack. You have 3 guys who literally were in straight dramas.
Right.
Leslie Nielsen was in Forbidden Planet, and Peter Graves was in things like Beginning of the End, and Robert Stack was in the Untouchable TV series. And they can deliver the comedic line straight because they're reading it as straight dialogue, not like and that's what I think. Like the problem with Leslie Nielsen's later career, like after Naked Gun, was like, he can be funny, and we know he can be funny. Let's just make him say funny stuff, and he'll be comedically funny about it. It's like it's not like that's not what made him funny. It's just that he delivers the lines so deadpan.
His inclusion in subsequent movies was supposed to be the reason why it was funny. It's like Leslie Nielsen is this. Even Dracula Dead and Loving It is not a great movie, and it feels like feels like a lesser Zaz movie instead of what it was, which was a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, it's like Mel Brooks, like just slumming it.
Oh my god! Last movie he ever directed.
I
know, but even stuff like to your point, Kurt. The funniest scene in Airplane to me is a scene with a non-actor in it. It's the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scene.
Yeah, modeled after 0 Hour having Elroy Crazy Legs Herschel from the Green Bay Packers, which they wanted Pete Rose for it. But I think he was playing for Philadelphia. He was playing for the Phillies, so I think they were in the World Series that year.
Yeah,
so he couldn't be in the movie, which I don't know how he would have been. And I love Pete
I
Rose.
don't
'cause
think
I
he
love
would have been
baseball.
as good as.
No, because
no.
Kareem's got charisma.
Yeah.
And he can actually deliver dialogue. I don't know if Pete Rose could deliver dialogue,
Right.
but
Well, the other thing
did.
with Kareem too is the look on his face when the kid is just telling him about how badly his dad thinks he sucks, and this look, and a lot of it just has to do with Kareem's facial structure, just constantly looking like he's gonna put his 7-foot fist in your 2-foot butt, and it's just It really is. So with this one, those are the missed opportunities I feel with this movie. I mean, you brought back Robert Hedges, right?
Robert Hayes.
Robert Hayes.
And you got Lloyd Bridges too, and you got Julie Haggerty.
You know what? She's the one I feel the most badly for this movie. I feel like they saddled her with bad dialogue.
This movie with so many sex jokes.
Yeah. It's like they had the one sex joke in Airplane. So why not, crank that up? I mean, there's that scene in Airplane where, she's got to, reinflate the autopilot, and the tube is right below his belt. Whereas in this one, it's just a straight up blow rock.
Oh, yeah.
Smiley face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the computer talks like friggin' Hal from 2001. It's like, again, it reminds us of this movie because it has the text crawl. It's like, we know this. Stop reminding us of movies I'd rather be watching. And then they have like the reference to 2001: Space Odyssey with the computer sounding like HAL 9000, and you got a reference to Terror 20,000 Feet, the Twilight Zone episode where Shatner was in. Which is one of the best Twilight Zones in my opinion. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shatner, there's that one moment he's just like stops and stares off into space. And you see a shot of the Enterprise, and then you go back to shot. And you're like, hey, remember me? I was in Star Trek.
Speaking of, this is the same year that freaking Wrath of Khan came out. The best freaking Star Trek movie of the original series, and he's slumming in this.
A 4B, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
Home is that for? Okay,
is amazing, but and the thing is also, I was as Mike is like texting me as he's watching this, I'm like, have you gotten to the Shatner stuff yet? Because the most painful 15 minutes of screen time in this entire movie is that last part where Shatner is parodying himself before parodying Shatner was a thing.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And they gave him all of Robert Stack's lines.
Yeah, they did.
You're not Robert Stack. You're Bill Shatner. You're Captain Kirk. You're not Elliot Ness.
I did like his little comments on the lights.
Oh yeah, they're not blinking.
They're blinking in the alternates. Well, we can blink all at the same time. Yeah. But
yeah,
I got a little chuckle.
Okay, that's a chuckle moment.
Yeah, you know what else was a chuckle moment too? Talking about reminding us of older, better things was when Peter Graves was trying to disable Rock, and they were starting to play the Mission Impossible music.
Yeah,
that works. That was fine.
Mm-hmm.
He was Mission Impossible.
The very first moment that I actually got a minor smile, which is like 25 minutes into the movie. Robert Hayes just in the shuttle. He sees a closet that says what was it? Danger vacuum.
Yeah.
What was it? So he opens it up and the vacuum cleaner attacks him.
Yeah.
I got a little. I smiled. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
That's a good.
That was like 25 minutes into the movie.
Right.
That's not a good track record for a comedy.
Here's another question.
Laughs right away.
Here's another question I have. How do you mess up Johnny on the Bridge?
I didn't laugh at any of Johnny's stuff.
And I wanted to.
Because it's Steven Stucker.
Yeah. Even in Airplane, he steals the show. Every scene Johnny is in, he's the best part. Johnny, coffee. No, thank you.
Thanks.
And the way he's typing. He's by the way, he's also the court stenographer.
Yeah.
In Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take me to the drive-in. Prove you love me.
He but it's like they gave him these. Not only did they give him bad dialogue, they gave him dialogue that wasn't funny at all.
The thing I think that comes down to Finkelman, the director, because Zaz, they knew him, they worked with him, and basically they were just like, do what you want to do. We'll film it and we'll put it in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Finkelman, like, here's the script, stick to it.
Yeah.
And that's not how you use Stucker.
No, you don't. And it's, he what's that? He's a good improviser, and he's good at using his body. And in like an Airplane with the Rapunzel, or in Kentucky Fried Movie where he's the stenographer and he's doing this with his, he was good with his body. It's like you gotta play to his strengths, and if you don't play to his strengths, you're not gonna have a good performance. And he did not have a good performance. I don't think anybody in this movie had a good performance. They're all great comedic actors in their own way. I mean,
right?
I Lloyd Bridges is hilarious.
I feel bad for Robert Hays. I've always felt Robert Hays deserved better, just career-wise. I've always liked him. There was a show he was on in the late 70s called Angie, which he was actually really good in, and the whole show in general was actually really good for like a 2-season thing. But I really liked him. I thought he was great in, the first Airplane. Just that one little aside he has after
what a pisser.
Why am I blanking on
her name? Julie Haggerty.
Julie Haggerty. What's the character's name?
Elaine.
Oh,
Elaine. When Elaine is like, when I come back, I'm leaving, I'm finding an apartment, and he just like, what a pisser.
Yeah, good breaking a fourth wall joke.
Yep. Well, but even like, you compare the scenes where they are lifting directly out of the original movie. He's made his decision. He's going to go on the shuttle. So in Airplane, it's makes the decision. Going on the airplane. Smoking or non-smoking? Smoking, please. And they hand him the smoking ticket. Goes to buy the shuttle ticket. And they're sold out. So, of course, there's a scalper right there because jokes. It was embarrassing. The E.T. joke was terrible. Right out of the gate, you went with that. You went with like a Rocky 80 joke.
Yeah.
In 1982. How much time is supposed to have passed? I know it's supposed to be the future, but
yeah, this is 1982. Rocky 3 was coming out.
Rocky 3 had just come out.
Had it just come out? Okay. Yeah.
1982. 40 years of movies. Possibly one of the greatest years of movie releases in history.
One of the greatest of at least cult cinema with things like Blade Runner and The Thing. But
and Tron.
And
Wrath of Khan, and E.T. The hits just keep on coming with 1982. I love 1982.
And Airplane 2.
And Airplane 2. So,
which, by the way, I made a note.
Grease 2.
Oh, yeah, because this was the second remake that Paramount did, or the second sequel that Paramount did. That is, I think the only person I know that I'm familiar with that likes it is M. Em is the only person I think I've ever known in my life that likes Grease 2. And I don't know. I just, like, my mom is a fan of Grease because she was 18 when Grease came out in 1978. So she loves Grease and she hates Grease 2. And I just, and this movie, is also like that. I love Airplane. Again, this is one of those movies that that made my comedy bone. It was this and Stripes and Ghostbusters and Caddyshack and all these other movies that I love that made my funny bone. But I did make a note. The gross of this movie after its first week fell 45% after the first week.
I believe
this was Christmas. This was released around Christmas of '82. I think the only thing it would have been up against would have been like The Secret of Nim.
The people wanted to go. I was going to say probably kicked its ass because that movie is amazing.
Yeah, it is. But then it's Don Bluth. So Don Bluth's movies never make money unless you're an American Tail. In which case, why?
Yeah. But yeah, again, Paramount 1-2 punch of Grease 2 and Airplane 2 is like, well, the original makers don't want anything to do with this. So, hey, Finkelman, come in, work on this one.
Yeah.
We want to make money. We'll make money. They wanted to make money. It's like no different than anything else.
Write and direct this one too.
Yeah, it's like everything else, like every other sequel that we think we've reviewed. It's cash grab.
Yeah.
This, Caddyshack 2, Jaws: The Revenge. They're all cash grabs with the one common denominator: no effort. None.
Right.
No effort at all. It's like it's abysmal. It's sad because it's like you take a good movie, be it Airplane, be it Jaws, be it Caddyshack.
Yeah.
And you take everything you love about it and you just say, you know what? Here, we'll take all this out. We'll get an apathetic director. Well, in Caddyshack 2 case, I think Alan Arkish cared.
Yeah.
Or apathetic director, apathetic producers who just don't care about the jokes or the sources or what people like about it. And it says, hey, this has got marketability because this is a hit, and we want to make more money.
Yeah.
They had to recoup that Grease 2 money because I think Grease 2 bombed big time.
Even bigger. It bombed even bigger than this movie did. This movie doesn't look like it cost a lot of money. I really, a lot of this is like, it's almost like you're playing a game of telephone with the jokes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Airplane, woman's being called, that she needs to get to the airport, and she turns on the light and she's sleeping with a horse.
Yeah.
Then in Airplane 2, it's the woman who's having that conversation about, I don't think we're gonna make it. I've never been with a man before, and the time they finally kill the joke dead is where she's with a donkey.
Yeah. And Airplane 1, there's like a quick like 2-frame shot of a pair of naked boobs.
Yeah.
So what we do in Airplane 2, in the first 10 minutes, at least 7 naked boobs.
Yep. Airplane 2 is guilty pleasure of mine. It's not good, but I still like it. Kevin, all right, and that's cool because here's the thing about Airplane 2. When I didn't see Airplane 2 in the theater. I was 10 years old when Airplane 2 came out. I watched the crap out of this movie on HBO. Oh my God! Every opportunity I had, I watched this movie. So it took me, like, I'd seen Airplane in the theater. My conservative grandmother took me when I was 8 years old to see Airplane. I don't think she had any idea because it was totally the first time I saw a pair of naked boobs on screen. But it was so far removed from me that, like, this is high comedy for a 10-year-old. This is funny, starting to shimmy.
The moral majority shirt too. That's the best part. It's like I didn't understand. It's like the moral majority is terrible people, but I don't understand it. It's just moral majority and there's boobs. It's like show me what the joke is.
And don't forget they throw in a nice dig at feminism later on as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Both sides into it. Oh, by the way, we were talking about the budget. This is Wikipedia. No, I don't want that. That's right. The budget for this movie was $15 million, and it made $27.2 million at the box office. Compare that to Airplane,
200 plus.
Yeah, it made $171 million at the box office, and it cost $3.5 million to make.
Yeah,
$3.5 million.
Pure profit.
Yeah, that's pure profit.
I don't know where that money's going to. The special effects were worse in this one.
Because I think they probably used blue screen. In Airplane they use models and I think not matte paintings. They're more just like painted backgrounds. Yeah, they're more like the stuff from Empire where it's just like the painted backgrounds. Not
those are matte, like the glass matte paintings.
Yeah. Are they matte paint? Okay, this is okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were matte. But
Cloud City, other than a couple of sets, doesn't exist in any practical sense. It is paintings on glass.
The matte, yeah.
But I mean, you have that wonderful Kevin's point about jokes that work in Airplane 2. Just so again, this is possibly the most competent of all the terrible sequels we've watched.
Yeah,
and I'm using the competent. I'm stretching the O's in the competent. But I mean, like Mike said, danger vacuum. That was a pretty funny joke. There's one joke where they said, "Okay, everybody, assume crash position. Put your head between your knees. No, your own knees, Father." And then James Noble just pops up.
James Noble.
That's a good joke. I like that.
Who I only knew from Benson.
Yes. He's also
Yeah.
He's also in the musical 1776, the movie musical 1776, which is also where we know him.
I was thinking about that movie the other day because my friend and I were talking about it. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
1776.
We watched it in the 8th grade, discussing I think the revolution. So we got to watch 1776.
My wife and I were in 1776. So
okay.
Yeah, but so that is a funny joke. There is a scene also with the guy who, I mean, as little sense as it actually makes, with the guy going into the bathroom to shave as they're crash landing, and him just like
cutting himself,
cutting his throat open. You know, that was funny. I like that. And then
I did kind of like
he's
that
got like
too.
all the. I mean, in all the years I've shaved, I've never actually done like a little piece of tissue paper.
I think I've done it once.
I've like done that multiple times, mostly because I just keep cutting myself.
But the best part about that though was when he finally does all that. 8 years before Home Alone.
Yes.
8 years before Home Alone, he does that joke.
Yeah, Chris Columbus, or no, John Hughes is sitting in the theater. I want that joke. I
will take that joke.
And
I will make that the crux of an entire franchise of semi-watchable to unwatchable movies. Mike and I almost reviewed the new Home Alone this past Christmas.
Oh,
my son was watching. I'm like, I want no part of this.
I should have made you guys watch for Christmas Home Alone: The Holiday Heist.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Christmas is only a year away, Kurt. You can.
Yeah, I can come back. I can come back for probably my 5th appearance and probably my last appearance for.
We haven't picked any Christmas stuff yet, and you did do the Star Wars Holiday Special. So, but,
yeah, you subjected me to that. Well, I subjected you to this and Caddyshack 2 and Jaws of Revenge.
Yeah, and all the other stuff. It's just this little piece of payback.
This movie did the cardinal sin of comedies, though. Like during like the whole courtroom scene. Well, first off, like the Jive Talker guy, I was so glad to see him back because I actually kind of liked him.
Yeah.
But then with the woman that like, in the first movie, you know, they had that line of people wanting to like, beat her because she's panicking
to calm her down.
Yeah. So they show that flashback in the movie in Airplane 2. So they show you, hey, remember the scene that you loved? And now we're going to show you the scene from Airplane 2 where it's exactly the same thing. You don't you don't copy the joke. But if you do copy the joke, you don't show us the joke beforehand.
No, because it just wants you to makes you want to watch the original.
The original, yeah.
You want to watch that instead? Please just leave. We don't want to see you see this movie anymore.
And Raymond Burr is the judge.
The hospital scene could have been a lot funnier. I mean, because the hospital scene in the first movie, you had, you know, the guy with the severe shell shock.
Ethel Merman.
And then the guy who thought he was Ethel Merman. In fact, that's the only way, like, whenever I hear that song, everything's coming up roses. But even the painting thing, it's like, you know, in the first movie, he's legitimately painting this battle scene, and they got the guy with his leg behind his head, and then they do the thing where he's painting the flowers, and you know, to Mike's point, full boobs.
Right next to it.
Yep. And what was up with the Love Boat theme?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone in this movie was on the Love Boat.
No. I don't get it either. Other than, you know, the spotlight. Was that the only person who would take their calls that day? It's like, oh, okay, I'd love to work with Zuckers. Oh, it's not that. You know what?
I think Bernie Capel was slumming it.
Yeah.
One thing I do like this movie, like for the music is credited to Elmer Bernstein and Richard Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but the fact that Stu Phillips isn't credited for the music of this movie is like downright illegal because they used the entire score of Battlestar Galactica in this movie.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever. But
they leaned on that hard.
It is very clearly Battlestar Galactica in every single moment. I'm like, so why is Stu Phillips not credited here? Because he did the theme song to this movie.
Well, I'm sure that they definitely had to have credited him in the credits somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they did that for like an Airplane with the Notre Dame fight song. They credited the people who wrote that.
Yeah.
And the Peter Yarrow song they used and stuff like that. So they probably did credit him in the closing credits. But it's like if you're gonna use the Battlestar stuff, you want to credit him. It's no different. It's like if there's an Italian zombie movie by Bruno Mattei called Hell of the Living Dead. It is an abomination to zombie movies. But they use the Goblin score from Dawn of the Dead. The entire Goblin score, like literally, it's shameless. But they literally give Goblin a credit in the opening credits. They give Goblin a credit. It's like that's what you want, because if you're gonna rip off the music or take the, you have to. I don't know how Italian law works. I imagine you probably have to give the person who wrote the music a credit. I don't know. I don't imagine why this would be any different, especially if it's the opening theme to your.
Just a shake of your hands.
You shake your hands and then you comb your hair back.
Yeah. Well, if it's anything like Italian like car makers, they just lie.
Yes.
How fast can it go? It can go really fast. Yeah.
Oh gosh, what else? What other notes did I make?
I don't know, Kurt. Treat us with your notes, because
let's see. Stop with the visual jokes. Yeah, the visual, like the scene when Shatner's talking about getting Ted Stryker's record, and she hands him an album, and it's his like polka album or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like, that joke's DOA. It's like you could have come up with a better joke. It's like, I don't have a problem with visual gags. I love punny humor. I love visual gags, but that's not a good visual gag.
You know what else? I was talking to Mike about this. The sign gags.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this. It was always a progression of 3 signs, and it was just like, this isn't funny. Like, they did it once in the original Airplane when it was like no smoking. And then they lit up another one that was like no sex.
Yeah.
And then with this one, it was like bullshit, extreme bullshit.
Yeah.
That gave me a chuckle. What else I got here?
The only people in this movie that gave me somewhat of a chuckle was Lloyd Bridges, because Lloyd Bridges is just freaking phenomenal, and some Shatner stuff. I don't know why he got billing at when he's only like in 10 minutes of the movie, but he had some lines that I got to grin at. Other than that, I was like, I'm not finding this funny.
Yeah, I do have one note I got to read here before Kevin brings up increase the Flash Gordon noises and put more science stuff around.
Yeah,
I had to quote Mr. Science Theater in my movie.
Yeah, Kevin. Mike had brought that up. It was actually one of the funnier lines from Shatner.
Yeah.
But you're right. Put more science stuff around. Give me more.
Increase the Flash Gordon noises and put more science stuff around.
Well, we use that in MC3K the movie.
That's what it's referring to.
But what else I got here? I got the one little kid in the movie, the kid whose dog catches the bomb that Sonny Bono drops.
Oh,
it's a little kid from Poltergeist. It's the guy. It's the kid who plays Craig T. Nelson's son in Poltergeist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was his curse, huh?
Yes, this was his curse. Young Gunn died young, and so did Heather O'Rourke, and he got cast in Airplane too.
He got cast in Airplane too, giving one of the most lifeless, but that's not important right now, deliveries. It was, oh my God. So you want to talk uncomfortable? The Peter Graves and kid scene in the cockpit. Like, the first one is inspired. The first one is absolutely inspired because it goes off the rails very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is just like, you ever been in a Turkish bath? It's what?
It's like you go from first to fifth gear in like 2/5 of a second. That's not how comedy is supposed to work. Well, again, what made it so great was he was just so nonchalant and just making small talk. And then, have you ever seen a grown man naked? You ever been in a Turkish prison? Do you hang around the gymnasium? Do you like movies about gladiators?
Gladiators.
Yeah, that's what you did. That's how comedy works. It's like none of the people who wrote these movies that we watched, these well, specifically this and Caddyshack 2, just don't. I think their hearts aren't in it.
Right.
And that's a shame because like Harold Ramis wrote Caddyshack 2, and I don't remember who wrote this, but definitely wasn't Jim Abrams or.
I think Harold Ramis sneezed on the script, and they had to legally had to give him credit for I'm sorry about that. I can't touch this thing. No, I'm done.
This one was written by the director, Ken Finkelman, who also wrote Grease 2. Because that's just a mark of quality right there.
Yeah, that's quality.
Yeah, and just to say, he did not direct much after this.
Probably for the best.
He mainly did some TV.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, I just feel bad for both of you guys because, like,
I had to watch. I just watched clips.
I
just watched clips
when it was still free on YouTube.
I rented it for $4.
Mike texted me yesterday. He's like, I had to pay $4 to rent this. This better be good.
I was like, no, I think I said, like, this had better be worth the $4 I just paid for it.
Yeah. I think for $4, if you've never seen it or it's been 30 plus, I hadn't seen this movie in 30 plus years. So I was fine watching this movie. And it wasn't like that thing where like, it looked like Caddyshack 2, Kurt, where I'm just like, I actually opened the opportunity to want to watch this. At some point we want to talk about movies that we have to watch that are all objectively awful movies. We do have to watch The Legend of the Lone Ranger at some point.
Oh, my friend told me about that because he's a big Lone Ranger fan. So I don't think I've ever seen that.
Movie. It's so dull. It's so dull.
You know what? I was okay paying $4 for this because it's been so long, and I've been wanting to watch it to see if it was as bad as I remember it being, or if it was all right. And it wasn't as bad as I remembered it being. It wasn't good, and they just reused all the old jokes in less funny ways.
Yeah,
but it was all right.
Yeah, I'm just glad that the kid didn't try to kill himself after listening to one of Ted's stories. So,
that whole thing in the hospital where he starts telling the story and all the people like get out guns like, it's like, yeah, I remember that joke.
Yeah, it was funny when James Long did it when he was committing seppuku, because that's it, or when the old lady hangs herself, because those are good visual gags.
That's the thing is like, he would always say that he was like, he'd always tell the story and he would never notice the person that was dead next to him.
No,
like, he tells the old lady the story, and he looks and he sees she's a skeleton. He's like, oh, it's like, oh, so now you're noticing it.
Now you're aware of the joke.
Was that the same old lady?
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think some of the people are in this who were in this or who were in Airplane were in this, like the one couple who's reminiscing about like the husband taking bad acid when they go to Woodstock, and they were in Airplane. Obviously, the lady who was testifying in the trial was in Airplane.
Yeah, one of the Jive guys.
Yeah, one of the Jive guys. It's like,
and David Leisure was one of the Hare Krishnas.
Yep.
Oh, Thomas Zuzu.
Yep. Oh, Joe Azuzu.
Joe Azuzu. Excuse me.
One of the greatest forgotten ad campaigns ever. That made him a star.
If I'm lying, may lightning strike me.
It's sad that I know that reference and I wasn't even born in the 80s.
Yeah. But and then we had Mike was like, "Oh, nice to see George Wendt make an appearance."
Yeah, George Wendt was the guy behind the ticket counter in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. And again, this is the year the first year Cheers was on NBC because it was
so he wasn't really anybody yet.
No,
but and it also too would have killed him to at least attempted to bungle the white zone, red zone joke. I mean, in the original movie, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because they also got the people who
bullshit. We know what this is about.
they also got the people who actually made the PSA announcements at LAX to do that.
Yeah,
And I think that's what makes it funny. If you were going through LAX in like the late 70s, early 80s, you would hear those people doing the white zone, red zone thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it funny. It's like they get the people who actually do it. It's just, but yeah, again, it's just no love for this. The movie had no love in it at all.
Exactly. It's just it again. I'm just gonna liken it to a game of telephone.
Yeah.
I tell Mike about this great movie that I watched called Airplane, and he tells you about all the great jokes, and then you come back and you tell me that. I'm like, this makes a great sequel.
Yeah.
Most depressing game of telephone ever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I would rather get rickets from rats.
I see you.
Ah!
Sorry, I silenced it, but I guess the silencer went off.
That's why I have my phone plugged in, my headphones plugged in my phone, so it doesn't.
Ugh.
I was gonna say I thought my laptop was my laptop is watching me because I got the camera on.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's finally going to make its intentions known.
Oh God, it's gonna be like Edie from Mass Effect.
Oh boy. I mean, overall, I was fine watching this. I could probably go another 25 years in between watching this again. It's now you guys just want to make me watch Airplane, and I know Airplane is going to be available on a streaming service somewhere.
I watched it. I have the DVD of it, so I watched that.
I do
this
too.
afternoon.
I know Airplane 2 is on Paramount Plus, which is like the one I don't have and I don't care because
Yeah,
I'm not that big.
I could
Star Trek.
if it wasn't snowing like crazy here in Indiana, I would have gone to my friend's house because he has Paramount Plus. I would have gone to his house and watched it.
Yeah.
And we probably would have cracked jokes during it.
Yeah, exactly. I showed Airplane to my daughter about a year and a half ago, and oh my God. It's like I've opened the world of comedy up for her because she's watched all the greats. She's watched Ghostbusters. She's watched Holy Grail. She's watched Airplane.
Nice.
There is very little I need to teach her now.
Yeah.
So the student has become the master.
So, yeah. So, any parting thoughts on Airplane 2?
The sequel.
The sequel.
Just
in case you didn't get the joke.
I don't know. It's
the sequel.
It just pounded into us. I think it's what you brought up, Andy. It's the watch it don't watch it. You don't have to watch it like all the time like you would like with another good comedy movie. You can rediscover this in about 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years. And it's fine. It's not something you should actively seek out. Like I would recommend this more than I would any other sequels I think I've that we've reviewed on here. But that's not saying much because literally we've reviewed two probably the worst sequels I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm not inclined to recommend this. I wouldn't write a good review about it. I don't have anything I have some nice things to say about it, which is again more than I can say about some movies. But it's just it's barely manageable.
Yeah.
It's barely serviceable. It's just if you're gonna watch Airplane or you want to watch Airplane 2 the sequel, watch Airplane. The jokes are gonna be there. They're funnier. The line deliveries are better, and the gags are better. Watch Airplane. It's a much better movie than Caddyshack 2. I got Caddyshack 2 on the rating.
Caddyshack 2, yeah. Go watch Caddyshack.
Go watch Caddyshack 2 and you can share in our pain. Yeah, go watch Caddyshack 2 and Jaws of Revenge and share in our pain.
and then you'll appreciate Airplane 2 a lot more, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
see, there's a silver lining here.
Yeah, there's always a silver lining.
Better shit than no shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kurt, thanks again for joining us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Here. Looking forward to whoever our next guest will be, which will be next week. Have to be determined. Still got to get in touch with some people because I got busy today. So, Kurt, thank you so much. Tell them where they can find you on the social media so they can hear all your musings.
You can find me on Twitter at Swayze of Arabia. You can also find me on Instagram at Swayze_of_Arabia. You can find me on Letterboxd, which is linked on my Twitter. And yeah, I'm writing more. I'm starting since I got the laptop and started writing a little bit more reviews on Letterboxd. I've still got to write a review for Promising Young Woman. I watched that last night and
Nice.
I loved it.
Excellent.
And so I gotta write the review on that, which I'll probably do after the stream's over.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's gonna be on the Twitter probably tomorrow, maybe. I don't know yet. I still have to write it. But yeah.
Fantastic. And you can find me and Mike wherever you get your podcasts on Geek Salad, the podcast that we host. Last week we released our back at the 2021 Disney Plus MCU shows.
I almost said Blackjack.
Coming up next week, we are doing we are going to go back to the studio and we are reviewing the music of 1992, which will be available in a few weeks as a two-parter because records got two sides. So yes, I said record. So do cassettes, exactly. Which I was still buying in 1992, by the way. So I have to remember to recycle that joke for them. If you want to follow us on the socials, we are on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. Subscribe to this video here if you like what you're watching. We do this every week. So subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Give us a polite comment below. What are your thoughts on Airplane 2? The sequel. And check us out here. And also check out our T Public store. Geek Salad Podcast is the keywords that you will use to find our stuff. And yeah, I think that is about it. So Kurt, thank you again, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
As always, an interesting choice. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.